Hello, I'm the Wacky Musician, and we're back for another Make and Play a paper instrument. Today with Make and Play a paper conga. Pretty big thing here. Have a listen. Now this project is large, so it will take some time. So don't do this if you're in a hurry. You could also make it quicker by shrinking it. Make the ring around the top smaller, put less paper sheets in it. I'll show that as we do it. Ring around the center smaller, and so forth. So if you make it, of course, if you make it smaller, it won't take as long, but it will still take some time and work. Not for the impatient. As everyone says, like my videos if you like them. Subscribe, particularly if you like, if you play clarinet or flute or trumpet. We've got lots of sheet music videos, free sheet music for that, as well as lots of other paper instruments that are really cool. Also, I've started a new channel, Auburn Animation Studios. We'll put a card up for that, and there you'll find lots of Lego brick animations. Particularly, we just released our hour-long Lego brick movie. So let's get started. So now you have a beautiful paper conga to get your rhythm going, the beat going. Alright, your materials. Here's what you're going to need to do this. Paper. Lots and lots of paper. For the main body of the instrument, you may want something fancier. I'm using colored paper. That's what this folder is. Lots of colored paper here and make it pretty. You could use plain white paper. It just wouldn't be as pretty. Or you could even draw stuff on plain white paper and make your own designs to use along the sides. And then you're going to need tape. Lots and lots of tape, possibly more than any other craft we've done so far. I actually have an extra roll sitting here. Dollar store is great for that. To get tape for $1, get a big card of little rolls like this for $1. Saves a lot in the tape usage. And then scissors. I don't know, we won't need too much cutting, but we may need a little. And that's actually all you need, along with patience and lots of patience. As I said, this will take some time. Let's get started. So I'm going to move these out of the way. Take 2 sheets of paper, bounce them together, boinky boinky. We're going to start with the long side here, and we're going to bend across the long side like so. That's about 1/2 inch. Doesn't have to be all that exact. Not too thick, but not too thin. Just about 1/2 inch is good. Maybe 2 centimeters or so. You don't need to measure it. Just give you an idea of the thickness, and you can see it on the camera. And notice we're not rolling like we do in most of these videos. We're actually bending it flat. We want to keep it flat. And we're just going to keep going until we use up the whole page here. All right. We got it. Basically, kind of ruler-shaped, a little thinner than a ruler, but a ruler-shaped object. And we're going to take our tape. And we're going to put some tape over it so it stays closed. Some at the top, some at the bottom. Not that there's really a top or bottom, but one on one side, one on the other, and one in the middle. So you just kind of have a stick like this. Now you can set that aside. Now get 2 more sheets of paper, and you need to do this 3 more times. That's right, 3 more times, the same thing. 2 sheets of paper, bounce it together, and oops, can stay together. That's in the way. And again, bend it. 3 more times we need to do this. So I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to fast forward through this really quick, because it's the same thing we just did, just 3 more times. So get to work. Alright, so now we've got 4 of these. Now if you want to make a smaller drum, you can cut out the number of these you have. Like if I took only 2, I'd have a drum half the size, or 3 for a little bit bigger but not quite as big. Now the next thing you need to do is curve these, roll them. Literally, roll them. If I can get my fingers on it, it doesn't want to cooperate. We want to give them a bend, so we're going to just kind of roll. Not necessarily that easy to do, just takes a little force. We just want to give it a roll and unroll it like that so it has a curve. You got a half circle there, basically. That's all you're looking for, and you're going to do that to each one of these. So that's 1. And I will start fast forwarding, so you don't have to wait. You're just doing the same thing to every one of these. Now we have 4 semi-curved strips of paper here, rolled paper, or, well, not quite rolled, but you know what I mean. And now we got to connect them together. Got to, that's bad English. Now we have to connect them together. There's some tape, that we're going to use lots of tape. Overlap 2 ends, like so. Get tape stuck on my finger. And run some tape over where they overlap. Take a piece of tape, get it over where the seam is. We're going to go long ways across the seam like so. Give it a good minute. I'm going to go across it this way to make sure it stays well on the seam. And then we have an inseam here. Do the same thing. One long ways, and then put one around it. And over, and now we have half of our drum head, and my other two pieces just fell on the floor. I'm good at dropping things. It's a skill. All right. Now take the third piece, some tape, and let's overlap that a little. Get too much curve in it. And do the same thing. Put some tape over it to hold it on. Tape the seams long ways. And wrap some tape around that on the seam. And the inseam. And wrap some tape around it. Make sure it holds well. So we're almost there. If you wanted a drum head, your drum to be that big, you could stop there. We're going a little bigger. We got one more piece. So I'm putting the fourth one, same thing. Just overlap it and tape it on. Get over the seams. I'm going to fast forward. Alright, we're almost there on that one. Oh look, a heart. There, happy Valentine's Day. It's only January, early January while I'm filming this, but we're not making hearts. Now we need to overlap the two ends, like so. Tape them together just like we did on the others. And go over the seams like we did on the others. I can spin things up a little bit so that you have a fairly good circle. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle unless you're a perfectionist. I'm only a partial perfectionist. Blah, blah, blah. That did not come out well. I'm only a partial perfectionist, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Just close to it. So you have a nice ring. This will be the center part of either the top or bottom of our drum. It doesn't matter because they'll be identical. So what we need to do is make another one just like it. So if you only did three sets of paper instead of 4, then you need to do the same thing. If you only did 2, then you need to do the same thing. I've done 4, so I'm going to do 4 more. So we're going to repeat everything we just did. We need 2 sheets of paper. We're bending it down the long side 4 more times to make another ring like this. So I said this would take some time. Hope you're patient. Here we go. We're repeating everything we already did. Alright, so I've got 4 more. And now, just like before, I've got to roll them to give them a curve. Any deja vu yet? Alright, so we've got our 4 curved pieces. Now we've got to connect them together. Try to do, it doesn't have to be perfect, but try to do about the same overlap you did on the other one. Ideally, they should be about the same size, but remember, you can always pause the video if you're not doing this as quickly as I am, especially since a lot of it's been sped up. Just try not to make the videos too long. So pause the video until you're ready to move on. That should be obvious, but the obvious isn't always obvious. So now we have another ring. There's our 2 rings, pretty close in size. It's good. So these are actually the larger part of drum, the middle. One will go to the top half and one will go to the bottom half, and then in the end they'll get connected together. Let's set those aside. And you want to guess what we have to do next? We have to make more. 2 more sheets of paper. Said we'd be using a lot of paper too, didn't I? I don't lie. Lots of paper, lots of tape. Now, this time we're going to need a smaller circle. This is for the top and bottom rings. So each one will use 3 sets of these folded papers. If you're making a smaller drum, if you use 3 for the middle part, then you want to cut down to 2. Likewise, if you use 2, which may be too small, but it could work for a little mini one, then you'd want to use 1 at the top, which is pretty small, but be a lot quicker to make that small. Okay, enough rambling, let's do it. So same thing we did at the beginning and just now. Going to bend the pages on the long side and then we're going to curl them, round them, and tape them together to make the top and bottom rings. So 3 for each. I'm going to do one right now. The first 3, and then connect them together, bend them, connect them together. And we're going to fast forward, so hopefully you understand. It's all what we've already done. We're just doing it again to make another ring. So here we go. I've already done it. That's one of them. Tired yet? Don't be. We're not nearly anywhere close to that. We need another ring just like this. So I used 3, so I got to make 3 more. If you use 2, make 2 more. If you use 1, make 1 more. If you use 50, well, we don't have that kind of time. You're going to be at it all day. That's a lot of paper and a lot of tape. I mean, a lot. Anyways, you wouldn't do 50. That's insane. Back to the subject. We need to make another ring just like this one. So let's get to it. Never give up. Never surrender. Full speed ahead. Time to sit down. Now you should have 2 smaller rings and 2 larger rings. So you should have a total of 4 rings. If you don't have 4 rings, then do not pass go. Do not collect 200. Go back. You didn't follow directions. If you follow directions, you have 2 small rings and 2 large rings. If you don't, then you go. Do it again. If you do, you're ready to go on, but I'm going to take a lunch break because some people are expecting me for lunch. I will see you in the future, which, because this is a video, will be like 1 second from now. So, to the future. Alright, it's the future and I'm back. Did you miss me? It's only been like a second for you. But I had lunch and now I'm back and we're going to continue. So we have 4 drum rings. Take one of the smaller rings and pull the others aside out of the way. Take 2 sheets of paper. I'm just using the scrap paper again. This is going to be the bottom head of our drum. So it's not going to be all that visible. Now if you've got a smaller ring than the one I did here, then you may only need 1 sheet. But if you've got this size that I've done with 3 sheets of 3 sets on the ring, you'll need 2 sheets of paper to do this. So you're going to cover the ring with the paper so that every part of the ring is covered. You can't see any of it. It doesn't have to go out of it that far on the sides. And first of all, I'm going to take these 2 sheets of paper together. Get the tape on camera if I can. We're just going to tape them together right along the seam here. I'm going to do the whole seam. It said dollar store tape sometimes doesn't cut well. That's the price for getting it cheap. Alright, so now I've got the whole seam taped up, and now I'm going to bend it around the drum frame, and all the way around. Let me turn it upside down so you can see. So we're going to bend it all the way, and we're going to tape it so that it is secure. So I'm going to tape that there. I'm going to bend it on this side, tape it. I laugh. That's good. Tape it down. Tape it down very good. And tape it some more. Alright, so that one's secure. I'm going to take this bit that's still sticking out, do a little folding so that it can bend over, and get it all the way around the ring here. And tape it down. Sorry, having some coughing issues. And some tape tearing issues. Okay. Makes me laugh. So, lots of tape. Just threw the scissors off the table, but that's okay. Lots and lots of tape to hold it in. Get nicely wrapped around. And now we turn and we got to get this other side done. Okay, wrap that around. And you should make it fairly tight. But try to maintain the roundness of the ring, because if you're not careful you could completely distort the ring while you do this. You don't want to do that. So now this is the bottom of the drum. Now it's completely wrapped around, somewhat circular as we can make it. This one's a little distorted because I goofed a little, but it's good enough. So it'll go this way down when we start adding structure. Oops, this tape's not quite good enough there. Let me add another piece. It's not staying there. Make sure it's taped down good. So if you wanted to make a hand drum, there you go. But that's not what we're making. Now we need some structure. It's good to have structure in your lives, right? All right, so I'm going to put this aside. I don't know why I said it like that. And I need some more paper. So now we're going to build some supports that will connect the drum heads together with the frames. So 2 sheets of paper again. If you're making the full-size drum, the large one like I've made, then you want to fold on the long side of the paper. If you're making a smaller version, then you might want to fold on the short side of the paper. Make this about 1 inch thick, a little thicker than the rims were, about 1 inch or so thick. Sorry, I'm an American. We still use the English system. Maybe about 3 centimeters would be good, something like that. Doesn't have to be exact, but notice it is wider. We want it to be a bit wider. Like before, tape it closed. That was not a good way to do that. Should have gone across. I'm going to put a little bit more on this one and then wrap it so it stays. Alright, so there's one support. I'll need 4 to start with here. So set that aside and let's get another one. 2 more sheets of paper, and we're going to do this 3 more times just like we did. So I'm going to put it in full speed ahead, that is fast forward. Exact same thing, here we go. Alright, we now have 4 of these. These are our supports for 1/2 of our drum. Now let's take our bottom ring that has the drum head we put on it, and we're going to take the 4 of these and tape them on. So we'll start here, just press it up against the side, and we're going to put tape here to hold it, and tape here to hold it, and tape across the rim to hold it. Actually, despite the order I gave that in, I'm going to start by doing the tape across the rim. You can see I'm putting long tape across this, press it up against the side, and let the tape sit there. That'll hold it up a little bit. It's not very strong yet. We're going to take another piece of tape, and we're going to tape across here. That'll give it a little more strength, right up and down here. And then we're going to tape from here onto the head. Like that. So tape going like that. And that should hold it pretty well. Alright, that's one. Now, directly across from there, we're going to do another. So that one will go right here. I'm going to turn it around. If it's not perfectly directly across, that's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect unless you're a perfectionist, and then maybe it does. Or obsessive compulsive, but that's okay. We still love you. Don't know why I said that. Alright, yeah, tape's not cooperating. So now the next one, we'll go halfway between those, about here. We'll rotate. So I gotta do one across from there. I'll go right here. Alright, so now we've got a 4 there. Let me zoom out some. So this is what we have right now. Kind of looks like an upside down stool, but of course it's paper. If you tried to sit on it, it'd go flat, and that would be fun. No. Get one of your larger rings, and make sure you can see. We're going to tape this on, in the same manner, the other ends of our supports. So like that. I'm going to flip it upside down to do that. So I think it'll be easier, plus you'll be able to see better. Alright. I'm going to start in the same manner. I'm going to put tape across it against the frame of the ring. Put tape going across the seam, up and down there. Actually, if you make that long enough, it can wrap all the way around and get the underside too. So that one's connected. Now I'm going to rotate and go to this one. this upside down, flip it back over, and this is what we have. Kind of looks like a basket. Now, if you're going to use colored paper, this is a time to pull out your colored paper. I'm going to take some purple, a little different. Now, you want to take a sheet, you can use regular paper, or paper you've colored. This is where the color matters. Stick it inside, and we're going to tape it against the frame like that. See that? It's not actually taped yet, so I'm setting it in there so you can see. Let me get some tape. Where'd my tape go? It's on the floor. Actually, just had to switch tapes. Of course, you wouldn't notice any difference, but that surprised me, and they wonder why I fast forward my videos. But I had no idea. But this has taken longer than any other craft, but that's not surprising. All right, so we were taping the construction paper between the two frames. Now we're taping that right on there, right on the frame, so it stays. Let me turn this way. Now you want to get tape all down the seam, best you can. This one will overlap some at the bottom, so I may not be able to get it fully, but we don't want too much place for air to leak through, so we want to tape all down as best we can. Now, do this on this side. Tape. This is way past the frame here, so I'm not going to tape it right now. What I'll end up doing is taping it to the next sheet of paper when I do it. But I will tape it down at the bottom here somehow. Somehow is just figuring out how to do it while you're looking at the camera. Now I'm going to bend this. Maybe I don't need. Well, I'm going to do it this way. My paper is sticking out some. I'm going to put some slits with my scissors so it'll bend over easy. A couple little slits here. And I'm just going to tape it over, wrap it over the ring a little bit. Alright, so I've got one piece attached. Alright, I'm going to pull the camera back some so you can see better. Where basically we've got to attach another piece here. Now, to keep an interesting pattern, you might want to use a different colored paper there. And you know what? I think I will. We'll stick a piece of orange there and tape that in. But I'm going to move the camera. So now, see, we're putting in this orange sheet. Get this in here good. And tape it in. Alright, so I think that one's pretty good there. So you now got two panels on, hopefully. Let's go to the third one, which was more colors. Alright, so same thing, you just want to get it taped into place against the frame with trying to make there as few holes as possible for air to leak through. So I need a little extra tape there. And I just need to fill in this side. So I'm going to get another color. You can always use the same color if you want. I'm just making mine super colorful. So I'm going to go with yellow. So I'm going to stick a yellow panel there. And just like before, we're going to tape it in. Alright, we now have half of a drum. Or if you want a wastebasket, here's a nice little paper wastebasket. Very colorful. Or flip it over, that's technically the bottom drum head, but here's a kind of a circus style drum. But we're making a conga, so we're not done yet if you're still with me after all this. Alright, let's keep going. So you should be able to guess sort of what we need to do next. It's the same thing. We need to take 2 sheets of paper and make 4 more frame pieces by folding them over about an inch thick or so. Then I say this takes time and patience. So now we have this, which has no head on it yet. In order to put the head on it, we need another ring. This ring, you will want to measure against this ring. You want the new ring to fit over this ring just snugly, not too loosely, just so you can push it over. So the way we're going to do that is first we're going to roll paper, or not exactly roll, but the way we pinched it over to make, excuse me, then another ring. So we're going to start again. This has 3 in it, so we're going to make 3. But we're going to tape them together a little looser so that they fit over here. But first we just need to start make the 3 rings. So I'm going to move this out of the way. Don't know why I said it like that. Get some more paper. You need 2 sheets to start with. Just like before, we're going to fold it. I think we said about 1/2 inch. And we're going to do this 3 times. So fast forwarding. So we've got our 3 pieces. Just like before, we need to roll them and put some curve on them. Right, now we're going to need our drum that has no head on it, because we need to size this against it. So I'm going to start by securing this with 1 piece of tape. I'm going to put a lot less overlap, not as much overlap as before, and tape those together. Ah, it's not always cooperative. There we go. Right, so now I have a partial ring of 2. Now I need to take the 3rd one on. Again, I'm just going to do a little overlap, not nearly as much as we had done on the first step. Just a little overlap. Alright, now for the final taping, we need to check our size. So I'm going to wrap this around. Needs a little more bend here. Form it around so it fits, but we don't want it loose, so we want a snug fit. Not too snug, because that'll make things difficult. But I'll just fit it around there. And alright, got it. I'm going to tape it, pull it off, and then I can secure the tape. So that, because that 1 piece of tape won't hold it, I'm going to secure it and tape it the rest of the way. Alright, so if I did this right, this should still be able to go over this. Yeah, and that's what we want. We're going to pull it off for the moment. It's time to put a head on this drum. I'm going to use cardstock this time, just to try a thicker paper. But you can use regular paper. I used color paper on the one I made as a prototype, the one you saw at the beginning of the video. Sorry, I'm reaching over to get my cardstock. I'm going to try a cardstock head on this one. As I say, you don't have to use cardstock. I certainly didn't list that in the materials. You can use regular paper. And I'm probably going to need 2 to cover the whole head. This is actually thinner than standard cardstock. Full cardstock might be too hard to bend. This is a medium cardstock, you could say. So I'm going to put my 2 sheets there, and then I'm going to tape them together. Alright, now this can be a little challenging. I'm going to go ahead and bend down the corners here to help. Get some bends going here carefully so I don't damage my drum. And what we want to do is use the ring we just made to push this paper into place. I say it can take a little challenge, a little working with it to get it to go on. Particularly when you're trying to keep it in the frame of a camera. So, work it on, try not to destroy the drum in the process. And if you need to, and it might be helpful, you can go ahead and tape down a little bit. Like I'm going to tape the side right here to the frame. And go ahead and do it on the other side. And that may help. Ow, where's the frame? Okay. May help a little bit there, get that on without sliding around. So I'm going to go ahead and tape this one to the frame. Then I'm going to put four sides of tape just to make it a little easier. I don't think I did that on the prototype, but this can help with the struggle. That tape gets over itself. Alright, and now let's go back to trying to get the ring over it. Okay, it can be challenging. That's for sure. This is not staying together. Come on, don't smash the drum.
Almost there. Also smashing the drum a little. Don't smash your drum. Almost got it on. Okay. This is the plate right here. Now, did better with the other one. The first one I made. It's on. Alright, and we're going to use a little tape because we want to make sure it stays on. So I am going to tape the ring over. Right here, it's not quite covered in the ring, so we're going to use just a little tape. We don't want to put too much tape on the side we're going to hit, but we do want it to stay. Yeah, that's not doing too well. Maybe it's because I used cardstock. I did a lot better with the first one. That wasn't cardstock. I smashed it over here. I can go inside and push it back out. Alright. Admittedly, a little bit of a challenge. Punch out anything that gets smashed. So I'm going to put some tape on the inseam of my drum. Inside, I can't show you and do it, it's just not possible. But, you know, there's a seam of paper because I had 2 sheets to make the head. There's a seam on the inside. I'm going to tape it so it stays in place. And there we go. Now, this is not staying. I'm going to have to add extra tape to that. Not ideal, but it's not staying. For the second sheet overlaps. Alright, so yeah, so I'd say cardstock was harder to work with, of course, being thicker. I think it has a little brighter sound, or the dark. That's the other one, that's regular paper. That's the cardstock. But we're not done, we're close to done. You got half a drum here. This is what I called the circus style drum, or a wastebasket if you need a trash can. But we're making a conga, so hang in there, we're almost there, almost there. Been a lot of work, hasn't it? Thank you for making it this far. Means you have the patience. Now I gotta move my tray here. Here's the bottom half, and there's the top half. So we need to tape those together. I need something to set them on. I'm gonna put it back on the tray. Alright, where's my tape? Whoop. Not cooperating. Alright. Start by securing it with some long pieces. Frames may or may not line up. If they do, it's helpful to tape frame to frame. It can be stronger. But as I see right here, they may not line up perfectly. We didn't make any effort to make those be the same. And that's okay. We just want to get these connected. I'd say this is not as good as my last drum, but that's okay. I rushed some of it because I'm trying to do this for you. Plus, just trying to do it while keeping it on camera is challenging too. Alright, so I've secured 4 sides to help keep it in place. Now, this is where, if you want to use masking tape or thicker tape to wrap over the edge, that could be helpful. I'm just using Scotch tape, but you want to get all of the seam taped over. Alright, congratulations, you made it. Here is our conga. I think my other one came out a little less sloppy, but this still looks, I think, fairly good. Well, and I think I like the sound. I think I like the sound of the thicker paper on the head. Well, let's put them side by side. This one is cardstock on the head. This one is regular colored paper. Of course, you don't want to hit them too hard. They are paper and they can't take but so much abuse. But that's it. Congratulations on making your conga and making it this far through this video. Realize this was much longer than any of the other ones we've done. So this is the Wacky Musician drumming out.